Welcome home to St. Anne's. We want you to know that you're welcome to join us at 10 a.m. on Sundays. Please be sure to hit subscribe to receive our sermons. We can't wait to meet you.
It's Palm Sunday, y'all. Okay, so you might notice some things that are slightly different. And if you're used to an Episcopal Church on Palm Sunday, we do things a little bit differently here. Years and years ago, there was Palm Sunday, and then there was Holy Week, and then there was Easter, right? Yeah, and you're like, yeah, there is today too. Duh, Meg. So yes, that's true. But some time ago, they realized that no one was actually going to Holy Week, you see. And they were like, well, everyone goes to Palm Sunday, and then everyone shows up at Easter, and they miss the whole Holy Week thing. So here's an idea. Let's put all of it on Palm Sunday. And so frequently, it is now known as Palm Sunday / the Passion Sunday, because yeah, and so what usually happens in the Episcopal Church or at other churches is you'll come in and you'll sing, Hallelujah, glory to God in the highest, whoa, Hosannas, woo, yay! And then a little while later you'll say, crucify him, crucify him. And you'll be like, whoa, wait, what? How did this all just happen? And it's because us clergy were like, well, y'all need to hear the Passion because it's important. It's kind of the core of the story, you see. But me being me, I'm not here to give you permission to miss Holy Week. Now, having said that, y'all know that I understand that there's this thing called life that happens. So I understand if you are not able to attend services on Monday, Thursday, or Good Friday. I get it. I really, really encourage you to, if you can. Even if you can't do them here, find a church that does fit in your schedule. And if you cannot even do that, make sure you open that handy-dandy little book that we call the Bible and read the Passion, read the crucifixion, read that story so that on Sunday you're ready for all the A words and all those things that we get really, really excited about. Okay, because here we just do Palm Sunday because Palm Sunday is important. It is sacred. It is part of the story, and I hate the fact that sometimes it just gets forgotten because you go home and you're like, oh, the Passion happened, and we forget the Palm Sunday part of it. And the Palm Sunday part's really, really important. It's part of the story, and it's really important that we go through the Palm Sunday because it bookends all of it, and it helps it all make sense, and that's part of our story, part of our narrative. So we're not going to be doing the Passion today. We will do the Passion on Good Friday, the day of the Passion. And if you can't be here for that at 7 p.m., then see if you can get to a church. And if you can't get to a church, then open that Bible, because I hope you have one. If you don't have one, you can go online. They got that online. Just read it so you know what happens. Okay, there's Meg's weird explanation of the strange things that she does. All right, Palm Sunday. So Palm Sunday is this really interesting time because we have this joyous entry into Jerusalem, this powerful moment. It's a parade, and who doesn't love parades? Hello, parades are awesome. And it's this great moment. Everyone's really, really excited. And the reason I think that's important is because that's what feel-good Christianity is like, right? It's like a parade. We want it to feel good. And when it feels good and it's fun and everyone else is doing it, we are on board with that because that is awesome and it feels good, right? You want to go to a church that's full of people like you, usually. Have you ever noticed? Churches are full of people like you. And it feels good and it feels great and everybody's doing it. And you're like, yeah, Jesus. And then you get into situations where not everybody agrees with you on stuff. and there aren't that many of you, and the people that think the way that you think are like really, really minimal. And who's really on board with that? You're like, yeah, that is awesome. I love being the minority. And everyone else is like, crucify him, crucify him. And you're like, yeah, that's my jam. Literally no one, ever. Nobody likes that. Okay. And that's what's important about Palm Sunday. Because Palm Sunday is this feel-good moment. Everybody is into it. It feels great. And you know what? People who probably don't even know who Jesus is, but there's a parade, and there's a cool guy on a horse, and they're like, yeah, I'll wave branches for that, because, hello, that's fun. And shortly thereafter, his best friends don't show up. And that's whiplash, isn't it? And that, folks, is Christianity. And I think it's not only our own journey in Christianity and faith, but it's our larger church's journey in faith. Because real Christianity is scared, trembling, terrified at the base of a cross, watching their Lord die. Real Christianity is the few people who show up at the tomb to worship the Lord, and he's not there. And then they turn around and he calls them by name, and they realize, they get goosebumps, they realize what's really going on. That is what Christianity really is. That is what faith really is. It's being terrified and alone and scared. It's being one-on-one, looking at the face of God and saying, oh my, this is it. It's true. It's true. And there aren't that many. It's lonely. That is faith. And yet, as a church, as the church, the Christian church, there was the boom, right? And everybody was doing it because you went to your country club, and you went to this club, and then you went to your church. And you sat there and you checked out what everybody else was wearing, and you might gossip in the parking lot about so-and-so. Did you see her hat? Oh my God, did you see her hat? Right? That's church. That's the church. That's what we do. And everybody's doing it. And we all look at those people who aren't doing it, and you're like, heathens, hello, right? And it feels good because we're part of the crowd. We're part of the in crowd, and it feels good. It feels awesome. They're all like us. And that's great. But is that Christianity? Is that discipleship? Is that faith? No. Faith is lonely and terrifying in a small, clustered group who's worried. But here's the deal. As a church, because we are entering that age, we're entering the age where the secular world doesn't even know what we're doing. If you meet somebody and they're like, and you say, I'm an Episcopalian, and they're like, how do you spell that? What does that even mean? Does anyone know what Episcopalian means? It means we have bishops. It's really not that awesome or intense, really. That's all it means. The episcopacy is bishops. But right, we live in an era where we're not normal. We aren't normal because there are any number of other things that you could be doing. And if you talk about God, like out in the secular world, people think you're one of them. They're like, oh God, she's going to try and save us, isn't she? Right? We're not normal anymore. We used to be normal. We're used to a Palm Sunday church. We're used to it feeling good. We're used to it being normal. We're used to everybody doing it. And in fact, we really want to go back to Palm Sunday because Palm Sunday feels good. But Palm Sunday isn't the core of Christianity. The core of Christianity is Good Friday and Easter morning. That is where faith lies. And we're not going back to Palm Sunday. there is no joy in going back to something that wasn't even real to begin with. We're going forward. And you want to know what? Forward is scary sometimes because the next few days are lonely and they're terrifying. But it's only by going through the next few days that we get Easter, we get the resurrection, we get true joy, we get true understanding. We see God face to face. We don't see God face to face on Palm Sunday, do we? We see a huge mob who's watching a donkey walk down the center of the road. Hoo-ah! No, that's not real. That's not the real stuff. The real stuff is coming forward. But you want to know what? Before we get to that, before we get to true understanding, before we really see God face to face calling our name, we go through Good Friday. We are trembling, cowering at the base of a cross, betrayed and scared, worried that we're next. That few clustered group, that is where we are called to be. And only when we are willing to go through that terror, that loneliness, that fear, that small community where we're gathered together, hunkered like, oh my gosh, this could be it, do we see resurrection. And that is true of us as individuals. It is true of us as a church. And I get that the church is nervous right now. I get it. Because it's scary. Because you want to know what? We've got a darn good pension. And I want my darn good pension. I sacrifice a career to have that darn good pension, right? Yeah. And yet, is that where Christianity lies? Does it lie in masses of people who go to church but they're not even sure what they went there for? No. Faith lies in the huddled masses who know that they need to be here in this community to support them for the scary stuff that's out there. That is what church is all about. And I get that it's different. And I get that it's scary. I get that. I really, truly do. And yet, it is only through walking through the scary and the lonely and the small and the terrified that we see God's face, that we reach true resurrection. Guys, this is where we are called to be. We are leaving Palm Sunday. We're moving towards a real, honest-to-God church.
We want you to know that you're welcome to join us at 10 a.m. on Sundays. Please be sure to hit subscribe to receive our sermons. We can't wait to meet you.